The story of rare earth elements is one of quiet power, global competition, and the subtle shaping of the technologies that define our modern world. Rare earths, 17 metallic elements with exotic names like neodymium, dysprosium, and lanthanum, are the unsung heroes of our digital age. They are woven invisibly into the fabric of everyday life. In the powerful magnets inside your smartphone, the batteries of electric vehicles, the precision of medical imaging devices, and the quiet hum of wind turbines turning on distant hills. Yet, behind their ubiquity lies a fierce geopolitical contest, with China at its center and the West scrambling to catch up. To understand why rare earths matter so much, consider their unique properties. They possess magnetic, luminescent, and electrochemical qualities unmatched by any other group of elements. Neodymium, for example, is essential for making the strong, compact magnets that drive everything from headphones to guided missiles. Europium and yttrium light up the vivid screens on our televisions and phones. Without rare earths, much of our high-tech society would grind to a halt. Despite their name, rare earths are not necessarily scarce in the Earth's crust. In fact, they are relatively abundant, comparable to copper or lead. What makes them rare is the challenge of extracting and refining them. Rare earths are typically found dispersed in complex mineral ores, often alongside radioactive elements, making their separation both technically difficult and environmentally hazardous. The process requires advanced chemical expertise, substantial energy, and the willingness to manage toxic waste. This is where China's story begins. In the late 20th century, as the world's appetite for high-tech devices soared, China embarked on a deliberate campaign to dominate the rare earth industry. By offering low production costs, lax environmental regulations, and aggressive state support, China quickly outpaced traditional suppliers such as the United States, Australia, and Brazil. By the 1990s, Chinese mines and refineries were supplying the overwhelming majority of rare earths to the world. Today, China controls over 60% of global rare earth mining and an even greater share, more than 80%, of the processing and refining capacity. It is not just a matter of digging up rocks. The real value lies in transforming those rocks into the pure, usable materials that manufacturers need. This downstream capability gives China immense leverage over global supply chains. The implications of this dominance ripple far beyond economics. Rare earths are strategic resources, vital for both civilian and military applications. Fighter jet engines, missile guidance systems, and satellite communications all rely on rare earth materials. For Western nations, the prospect of relying on a single foreign supplier, especially one with whom relations can be tense, is deeply unsettling. This vulnerability was brought into sharp relief in 2010, when a territorial dispute between China and Japan led to a temporary Chinese embargo on rare earth exports to Japan. The move sent shockwaves through global markets. Prices for some rare earths soared by more than 1,000%, and industries from electronics to automotive scrambled for alternatives. The message was clear. The world was dependent on China for critical materials, and China knew it. Since then, Western governments have awakened to the strategic risks. The United States, European Union, Australia, and others have launched initiatives to diversify supply, invest in alternative mining projects, and develop new technologies for recycling rare earths from used electronics. Yet progress has been slow. Environmental regulations, high production costs, and the technical complexity of rare earth processing have all hampered efforts to build self-sufficient supply chains. One often cited example is the Mountain Pass mine in California. Once the world's leading producer, Mountain Pass shuttered in the early 2000s, unable to compete with cheaper Chinese imports. It has since reopened, but it still sends its raw materials to China for final processing, an ironic testament to the depth of Chinese expertise. Meanwhile, China has continued to solidify its grip on the industry. Through a mix of state-owned enterprises, export quotas, and strategic investments abroad, it has ensured that it remains the indispensable supplier. Chinese companies have bought stakes in rare earth mines in Africa and Southeast Asia, extending their influence far beyond national borders. But why has the West struggled to catch up? Part of the answer lies in economics. Rare earth mining and processing are capital-intensive and can take years to become profitable. Price volatility, driven by shifts in Chinese policy, makes investment risky. Moreover, the environmental toll of rare earth production is significant. Decades of unregulated mining have left toxic scars on landscapes in China, prompting a belated cleanup effort. Western countries, with stricter environmental standards and more vocal public opposition, find it harder to approve new projects. Innovation offers a glimmer of hope. Researchers are developing more efficient ways to recycle rare earths from electronic waste, reducing dependence on mined materials. Others are searching for substitute materials, though so far, rare earths remain irreplaceable in many key applications. International partnerships are also emerging, with countries pooling resources to develop shared supply chains and processing facilities. Yet the reality remains, for now, China leads, and the West follows. This imbalance is more than a matter of market share. It is a test of resilience in a world increasingly defined by technological rivalry. As nations race to build the next generation of electric vehicles, wind farms, and defense technologies, access to rare earths will determine who shapes the future. The race for rare earths is not just about minerals. It is about the power to set the pace of innovation, to dictate the terms of trade, and to secure national interests in an uncertain world. It is a race that quietly influences the gadgets in your pocket, the cars on the road, and the satellites orbiting above. And as long as China holds the key, the world will watch and wait, and wonder who will lead the next chapter of the technological age. If you found this information valuable and want to stay updated on the latest insights about technology, innovation, and global trends, consider subscribing. By joining our community, you'll never miss out on important updates, in-depth explorations, and expert perspectives that matter. Your support helps us continue to deliver high-quality content and dive deep into the topics shaping our world. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay connected and informed every step of the way.